it's game on GG's Find the King for the new new King of the Hill series of tournaments. So we will be emerging a king today already. We've got 3 best of 3s for today. One of them is already over. It ended up being 2-0 in favour of Team Infuse, where they've beaten the newly formed, I guess, Swedish lineup since Winster, for instance. On his Steam account, he still had his own team typed in as his current team, so Vestar also joined in right there, and unfortunately it did not work out for them. I mean, if they indeed didn't play for too long together, it was Team Atlantic, by the way. If they didn't indeed play too long together, then alright, they couldn't really mesh in together too well. And the first map was definitely real good, but on the enemy's map of choice, they got obliterated completely. So it was 12-16 on the first one. I don't really remember the scoreline on the second, but it was just a whitewash in favour of Infuse. It was 7-16, alright. So now we are jumping into our second matchup of the day. That's Enso versus Pipoo. And then the winner of this one will face off against Infuse to be the new king of the hill. Let's find that one out as we are jumping into Mirage, our first map of this best of 3. Next up is going to be Dust 2. Mirage got picked by Enso, by the way. Dust 2 is going to be Pipoo's map of choice, so first of all, the Russian team is going to have a little bit of the upper hand. Little with the first headshot on. Oh, that's not going to mean too much since Pipoo are headed towards bomb site B, and they're taking that site without any issues. There is one man, of course, at least. But they're hitting around the corners, and the Saints are finally going to take a bacon attack with a double headshot. Doing a lot of damage towards the enemies, and 3-on-1 now commences as Zite is the last man standing. Films, Arrow, and Little taking care of that site already. They've got the bomb in their hands. They now know where Zite is as he's shooting with the pistols all over the place, and he'll be found at some point eventually. There's Little with the finisher. Films was having a lot of struggles finding that kill. But at the end of the day, the pistol round lands on Enso's account. Tom's aiming straight at the balance, and there's 4 people about to peek. Oh, he locked away at the one important moment. They were jumping out of there, and then it's down to very low HP. That's going to be Films finding some more damage, and poking with the frag on Ludi. Just got unnamed, the guy that was down to 7 HP in the very beginning, but he found a kill. He picked up a facet. Of course, that's KotH. Doesn't he even have a profile on AHL TV? What his name indeed is KotH Gowden, which I guess I'm just going to shorten down to KotH, as it will be much easier that way. So round number 3. With pistols only for Pipoo. This previous round definitely did not work out too well for them. They did get 2 kills. Not more than that. Films with a headshot towards Ludi right off the bat. There's Art with some damage done with that for Mass 2, and all of a sudden just all is remaining out there on the battlefield. Oh, right around the corner, he's got 2 people, spots 1. And the other one is right around the corner, so that's going to surprise him a little bit. Nice. Okay, with some good headshot on towards Little, and as they finally have the AKs all over the place, it might mean something. Pipoo actually very quickly lost all these eco rounds, and that led them to the full buy normally. There we go. Oh, Zita returning. Nearly no damage out there as he takes the peek and just receives even a dink, but through the wall. Doesn't lose so much HP as we would expect. Okay, with another hit shots and the 2 kills that Pipoo this fight got went right his way. It's not going to be too bad for them, but the rest of the team very low in health and they have to start figuring something out in terms of planting the bomb. Comes down to 32. He's also not feeling too well, but just take a look at Vicky and the experience. They're both so low on health. Finish them off is not going to be a hard thing in the first place. And so a little bit too afraid because they're in a 3v5 situation. It's just the numbers that scare them because they don't know how low the enemies are. They don't have the info that we do, and that's just going to lead to Enso trying to save up the 2 weapons they've got because 1 frag goes away Ludi. So looking quite fine for Pipoo. They lost the first round, they lost a pistol. That's led to Enso winning some very easily. They did 3-0, but Pipoo, as you can see, they can bounce back. Experience will get finished off by Art. Finally, one of those frags in the low health enemies. He's there.
Terrorists win.
Well, Little takes a peek in the middle with the AWP. This time will definitely want to get rid of that one little man that previously picked him off right away. But this time Pipoo going for a different strat and they're running down bomb site A. There's Arrow. The first box is in the site. He'll be waiting right there because Phil's got something to do. And the sandwich gets 1 frag and drops another man, blowing off for Arrow to finish that frag out very easily. Arrow with a double kill. And Art goes down and we've still got Arrow behind the play with boxes. Will get finally finished off through the boxes by Ludi. So great shots, great persistence actually. He knew the enemy was out there and he didn't care that he failed for a couple seconds. There was a lot of pressure on the team and he played persistent, so it paid out, but then Token coming in from behind definitely broke his plans a little bit. The AWP shot from KotH misses. That's going to be Little there to 15 HP up against Ludi down to 10, so both of them very low on HP, and both of them can take this fight home. And Ludi's going to try to rotate towards bomb site B as we've got Little climbing up the middle, so he should hear the enemy at some point. Slowing down. I talked to listen in myself, but Little did not get to hear anything. So he's headed towards A again, and it will be Ludi planting the bomb on bomb site B. And having a little bit of an advantage in that encounter, especially as Little still got the AWP. So if he comes into that bomb site B without being aware of where the enemy is, actually he's not even aware of the bomb being planted in B. And finally turns around and will go towards the catwalk or the underpass. Uses the short, so where he came from in the first place. But yeah, Ludi can hide wherever he wants. And up against Little's AWP, it should be quite easy for him to win this fight. And Little indeed just decides to fall back. He's too low on health to go for that fight. And he doesn't know that the enemy is also low on health himself. So winds up to 3-2. And Pipoo will grab a round for themselves. And Ludi do not get a chance to get the ace. Well, I don't think he'll care about that at all anyway. Yeah, now probably Russian team getting very angry that they did not finish off that man when they had a chance. Gotta be slightly demotivating, but well, we'll see how it all ends up going as Enso. Their own map of choice. King with a double kill, and he's actually going to shut down that whole push of Pipoo instantly. Little then comes in with a lot of help, and well, he did not manage to do anything in the previous round, but now you can see, even blinded by the flashbang, gets their headshot and all. Quite angry, and they want to grab the advantage back. So 4-2 in favor of Enso, and is back on the right tracks, so to speak, for the Russian team. 0-0-5 and all at the moment, 0-2-5 and Zite. These two definitely not showing their best just yet. Gonna be tough to win for Pipoo like that. Only 2 rifles for the terrorist team, and they're setting themselves up for bomb site 8 with some smokes, with the bomb, with all 5 people. Round number 7 is on. Oh, taking a peek out there, but gets blinded slightly by the flashbang, and still no opportunities just yet for Pipoo to even get anything done. He will finally pop up. There it is, for instance. Becca Gooden with frag on films. Oh, frag on experience. Okay, and they hit shots towards Becca. Now it's beginning to look quite nice for Enso. There's the sharp shot fired, but he misses, and Little is gonna grab the second one. Return. So, Ludi named Zite with P250s, all of them experience will be playing with adjusted Glock. Pipoo down to a pure eco. Shouldn't be too hard to win for Enso. Does not lose so much HP, and he's going to get a double kill before finally being forced to back away. A lot of terrorists spotted out there in the apartments. Might decide to fall back. Bomb is still there. They are rotating in towards the middle indeed. So towards the middle. And that's going to be quite interesting, as they just have pistols. So it's quite an interesting thing that they're doing. I mean, believing that they will break through connector or wherever else with the pistols only is quite a bold move. It is not going to happen exactly how they wanted it. Number 9, 6-2 in favour of Enso. The Russian team massively in the lead, but Pipoo with another 4-buy. Previously, they finally got a 4-buy. It worked out quite nicely, but now going to once again be very tough. However, once again, Peck hits it with some entry frags, and there's Arrow. And a headshot towards Lily to try and return the damage a little bit. Little in a very good spot. He's going to catch one of the enemies, but he's forced back away instantly after by experience. Oh, taking aim right at Hart, right at the tickets booth. Will receive and then send the area in a flashbang, but does not really get hit by both of them for too much. Hart still wins that fight. That's going to be quite surprising. But there is Zite from behind to kill Little. Now they know that Hart's there. They have to push him down, but the bomb is ticking down, so they don't even have to. Be honest, so but Hart is getting away, and he might even be able to survive with the weapon. He now heard the remaining terrorists pull the trigger around the CT, so he just goes towards the underpass, and he'll survive with just 5 HP. He'll try to save the weapon up. Oh, but just take a look at where experience is. Might have still tracked the enemy down, but he stopped at the last second. Did not go into the apartments out there, but indeed, Pipoo, they get the 4-buy, they get the round. Alright, experience with a little bit of team kill, and Stoken was right in front of his teammate. He did not manage to get the enemy. And at the end of the day, Feke did finish poking off. But that's still a little bit too late. There's still a 4-on-3 in favor of Enso, just like that. It would have been a 4-on-4. Would have been Pipoo slightly in the lead since they're taking the map control, but that way they will be struggling. And it's the worst thing that could happen probably to them. And they just won a round. Now their economy is about to get broken once again if Enso takes it home indeed. Because of an accidental team kill. Down to 62 HP. Films receives a little bit of damage from an HE grenade thrown in by the terrorist a little bit earlier, and he gets spotted out. Little at the same time lands a shot in towards Feke. That will be Little with the finisher on Ludi. That round was actually way too easy for Enso, and it is Pipoo indeed. When their economy broken, the Russian team seems to be very conscious in what they're doing actually. If it was all calculated, as if they were losing rounds on purpose sometimes. In the next ones, they seem like a very different team. They seem like they are completely unbeatable. There's Phils with a hit frag on Ludi, not a headshot actually. Still take it home, and that's gonna matter. But there's one mad advantage in favor of the terrorists all of a sudden, and the weapons might get picked up. They have the bomb. Their hands again, unnamed, is down to 16 HP, so he'll have to be careful from now on. Very careful. Arrow. One bomb site A, takes a peek through connector, but you cannot see anybody out there. You already allowed the enemies to escape. Here we go. Seems like bomb site A will be the target. 3-on-2, so they will only meet one CT out there, but picking him off with just pistols is going to be hard. They don't have a smoke for the jungle, and there's Arrow with first huge chunk of damage, but does not manage to finish the enemy off, and Today already gets up close. As Art isn't able to stop the enemy out there on the way to jungle. Today's just waiting around the corner. Arrow already aims straight at the enemy, but will receive the headshot. But there's Art with a quick answer, so no weapon picked up by the T's. The bomb might be planted. They are very low in health, but Art does not really know where they are. It's going to be a tricky thing for him. Goes in. He'll take the frag and experience, and Feke, I think he took a peek a little bit too early at the end of the day, and that's going to wind up to 8-3 in favor of Enso, but got really, really close. It was a huge chance. I could actually take this one home and surprise the enemy team. Do something here. But we've just got a pause, and 5 rounds difference was in favor of Enso. Not too long of a pause. We don't even get to know what the reason was, but turns out that there is not much Pipoo can do to beat Enso out here on this map, at least. I'm definitely already trying to figure out what the next map is going to look like. It's Dust 2. It's not going to be much different than this one, of course. Will be the map chosen by Pipoo. It is called the Ultimate Pug map, so for the teams, for the newly formed teams, for the mixed teams, seems to be the best. We'll have to find out how it will go here for the teams that we've got in our matchup. There's Arrow and Art with a double kill together. Now Art makes it even a triple for himself, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, and fucking just stepped in with a little bit of support at the end of the day. It'll be 9-3 in favor of Enso already. The Russian team just building up the lead, not giving any chance to the enemies. There we go, Little, a great shot on towards Feke. That's the bomb dropped too. right around the corner. They don't get to see that, but Experience is all alone in the middle, and he won't even really have a chance quickly enough to pick it up. If they beat him, if they break through. Bomb in the hands of the CTs, or up close to bomb site A. There's Little picking up Ludi coming in from the other pass. There's another guy, the other pass though, that he did not get to pick off, and Films has to go down right there. Experience also with a frag and poking. Oh, with great reaction and towards Arrow, and only Little remains at that side. What a no-scope though, and you will know that there's somebody around the middle, picks up Experience, and all of a sudden it becomes quite favourable for Enso. And Little with a quad kill already on his hands. This guy's surely going for the ace here. And he deserves it. I mean, he's always been there for the team. Maybe the first round he picked up an AWP, he failed a little bit. But then was the final member of the team to lead into victory every single round since. Here we go. KotH will get picked off by Art at the end of the day. Little still had his chance but didn't take it. Yeah, 17-3. Just take a look at his stats. This is outstanding. After 13 rounds, he only died 3 times. Same goes for Art. And got so many kills. I mean, just take a look at the top of the standings, basically. Art and Little. So many kills. So few deaths. They deserve to be up there, surely. That's just pistols for Pipoo yet again. 2 of them even missing Kevlars. Should be fairly easy for Enso to take these kills home and close out this round without any further ado. But Experience still has to land a shot on towards Art. Now Little and Falcon with some kills of their own. And always running into bomb site A to a little bit of a diversion. Still, it is going to be bomb headed towards B. There's nobody out there. And Enso are making a quick, reckless move to just look for the enemy because they want to close out the round as quickly as possible. That is not going to happen. The bomb is on B. Liddy will even be pushing through to the shop to try and get it planted on A, which is a little bit of a mistake in my opinion. But we'll get to see. Or actually, he's just waiting. No Kevlar. HE Tech 9 and bomb. There's already one man on the catwalk, and he can get the bomb planted in the corner very quickly. Or can't be looking for some kills. Picks off Little, will be planted for a catwalk, and there was another guy out there. So that is not going to work out, simply. The 11-3 situation at the moment in favour of Enso. This far, it's the best thing that could happen to Enso. Looking real good for them. Doesn't really look like Pipoo can even endanger them in any possible way. Little and Falcon with some more kills for themselves, and just like an Experience left out there. That's Arrow with a headshot towards Experience coming out of the palace, and there's finally Pekka with a little bit of an answer, but still a 1v3. Put him in a comfortable spot. Just waiting for some more enemies to take a peek at him, but I guess distracted by the guy running in from the side. Does not focus on the stairs anymore. Well, 3 in favour of Enso. Well, not much to say right here. Pipoo are just getting obliterated completely, and all the rounds that Enso lost mean nothing, because in the next rounds they immediately came back with nearly flawless sweeps. So like Pipoo right here on this map, at least just don't have what it takes to beat Enso. One's right off by in the middle. Going in a berserk mode, but you won't find anybody out there. Any frag rather. You found an enemy, but that CT just backed away instantly. Didn't want to pick up the fight any further. It's Ludi. Whoa, we're seeing a ton of damage. Just 9 onto him. He's down to 31 HP. There's Experience with a great headshot towards Arrow. Now I've got Little running in. He's looking for the headshot, and he'll get its experience in the meantime to return a little bit of damage, but it's still the CD staying alive, and at the same time, Little jumps into the shop. That was his worst idea of the round, and it's just going to leave Voking all alone, and even though he's got that tech 9, he's bound to run out of bullets at some point, and that is the moment where the enemy strike will lead us to well 4, and Pipoo taking the pistol round. Oh, now it should be Enso losing a couple. Definitely is going to be something. I'll give actually a little bit of confidence to the Swedish team for the future rounds about to come, and of course for the next map. This far they just got destroyed completely, so they somehow have to lift themselves up. Oh, Feki already spotted out, and he's going to receive a tiny bit of damage, but then still is conscious enough to find a kill. Ludi is also down to 6 HP. There's big risk of Piper losing a couple of people here and there and dropping the weapons to the enemies. The end of day film finds the frag, and then unnamed sitting will go down to Little. Or shooting it out against films, and you have to be careful if experience goes down right here or goes down right here. Ludi cannot really do anything alone. He needs the support of his teammates. And so, with one weapon already picked up, there's a FAMAS in the hands of Little. Films once again takes a peek with a Deagle to kind of distract or a little bit longer for Little to run into the site and be able to do something. That's actually not going to happen. And these 12-5, and we got a little bit of a pause right now issued by one of the teams. I hope it won't be too long, just like that previous pause that they had. Lasted just a couple seconds, and we'll be getting back into it as quickly as possible. Now, Enso's TeamSpeak seemed to have gone down for a second, but at the end of the day, they unpause it swiftly, and they'll be ready to continue. Oh, we have connection problems for Pipoo right now, so right. Have to wait just a second longer to continue with that matchup. But Enso still massively in the lead. Pipoo starting to try and find that way back into the game, because as you could see, even on Nico, Enso still deal a lot of damage to the rifles that Pipoo had. It's not ideal for the Swedish team. And they've got 2 M4s, 2 FAMASs, and a UMP 45 to face off against just P250. So it shouldn't be too hard to deal with these. We'll see. There we go. Oh, with the double kill as they drop straight into his crosshair. Did not expect him to get more than just one out there, but at the end of the day, it's just Stark remaining on the battlefield, and he's very fortunate for Pipoo this round, surely. Some big mistakes made by Enso. Got fired in the middle by one of the AWPs. We've got Little with the other. So Pipoo have to get their guards up. Do not be beaten up by Little again. Little's definitely capable of pulling out some great stuff. King, Art, and Little around the middle, and there's one man in the sniper's nest, and Little is aware of that. He's just waiting. Art with a frag on Beckett, but at the same time, Experience returns the damage and bomb sniper back to a 4-on-4 situation. Experience is going to break through to try and find some valuable info for the team, and he knows that it's not a bomb sniper push for sure. Now they will pay a lot of attention towards the middle. There's one man in the sniper's nest, one man around the jungle. Art is breaking through to the side to get a headshot on all. We've got a 4-on-3 situation in favor of the terrorists. So Experience having a little bit of struggles, and as he gets that kill, 2 of his teammates go down, so it's still not going to be good at all. He needed to be a little bit quicker of that retake, but at the end of the day, round just easily goes the way of Enso. So Pipoo finally are facing off against a full bite. Quickly ease around for Enso. Go Little with a good shot on towards. Okay, and already Enso with a 5v4. One pistol still in the hands of the CTs. Is going to be Ludi playing with a 5-7. 4 AKs and an AWP up against 3 M4 A1Ss and a 5-7. Well, Ludi tries to pick himself up a weapon as quickly as possible and manages to get away from there as the AWP hits him. So luckily for him, he had that pillar between himself and the enemy. There we go, the round continues with a 5v4. Might even be a 5v3 very easily if Ludi just gets hit by some grenade or anything. There's Experience in a tricky spot, but at the end of the day, once again, just as in the previous round, he did not manage to get a lot done right here. He was there, he did get 1 kill, but 1 is not enough. Poking with a headshot on Zitty to shot the enemy down instantly. Oh, he gets killed himself, and now only Ludi remains, and he's so low on health, and he was playing with a pistol from the start, so of course he wants to stick to that weapon for as long as possible, and he's falling back towards the middle, towards the A site, and even further towards the palace, and he will survive as the enemies are not even tracking him down just yet. That's just still not favourable at all. Bomb goes off and Ludi survives. The enemies did get close, but not close enough. They didn't finally get him in their sights. There's Little with 24 frags on his account. Now, there's a lot more deaths on these two guys from Enso. 24-2-8 for Little, 22-3-8 for Art. But they did earn, both of them, 5 deaths in the meantime, since we last checked the scoreline and list kills, but it's still looking quite fine for them. Of course, they're still at the top of the standings out there with very impressive scores. It's 14-6 in favor of Enso. They just need 2 more rounds to close this battle out. Very similar scoreline that we could see just a while ago in Infused versus Atlantic. On Inferno, it was also 14-6 in favor of Infused. Art receiving a little bit of damage and doesn't even know where the enemy was shooting at him from. Pistols mostly for Pipoo. We've got some 257s, 2 CZ75s. Seems like nothing compared to what Enso have. There's the HE flying in, or will achieve a little bit of damage, and Molly additionally. But does not get hit by that, and that will be extremely important. As with that CZ right around the corner, if he fights the enemy, he might easily be able to get a kill. Now he's run down from 2 different sides, and he does not pay attention to the ramp, and there he will go down. 2 films. Alright, now with a headshot on towards Experience, they should know where Ludi is too, as he got 1 frag already, but Ludi will find another one. The only saved up rifle and seems to be working just fine. As they take with a headshot on towards Falcon, who had the bomb in his hands. And now all of a sudden it becomes a 2-on-2. Ludi's still alive and coming in from a connector. Might be very good for the CTs. 10 seconds left on the clock. Ludi is wrapping around to go towards the ramp. He thought that the enemies might have been rotating, it seemed. Maybe even wanted to stop them from going towards B, which was quite awkward. But anyway, got Little jumping into the site and getting one frag. Then Little is left at a 1v1. And with an AWP from inside the side, it will be hard for him to do anything. He will, at the end of the day, go down to Ludi. But yeah, still, even though he was in a very dire spot, there still was that slight possibility of him winning the fight since it is Little. Since he's already done so much great stuff for the team this far. Ludi into the B apartments, but does not spot anybody out there just yet. And here we go, experience with the first round of the round. Films with the answers, and it's going to be the terrorists taking a little bit of ground for themselves, but as Becky is right there to return. Too successful, but at the end of the day, Art still gets into the ladder room and still, well, gain a little bit of ground. So, trying to get into that bomb site, but a little bit of a failed flashbang surely is not going to help. Faces a war as Ludi is coming in, so Ludi does not get a chance of finding the kill out there, and he's being run down by the people from inside the site, and there's Zitty also missing his own shot. Now Little knows exactly where the enemy is and will pull the trigger at the right moment. Did get hit for a lot of HP. And still, he's going to be 14-7 turning to 15-7 as Odd does not have a big chance of taking it back, and he won't even be trying to. Bomb ticking down and all will survive. That's at least something for the CTs, I guess, but still 8 rounds difference between the teams. Will surely be very hard to bring him back to the right tracks for Pipoo. Could already be a map for Enso, but this is Enso's map of choice, so surely we're expected to take it home. Question is, will Pipoo have a chance of taking their own map? There we go, that's a little bit of spray down from Arrow. Deals a little bit of damage to Experience. He's down to 41 from the start. And mostly pistols for the CTs. That also doesn't look impressive at all. But it is still 5-on-5. It is quite long. Takes for Enso to find some entrance to any of the sites. Still going to last a little bit longer. Finally, some shots fired, and finally it's going to be Arrow with a headshot towards Experience. But at the same time, a name picks off Films. It might last a little bit longer as Zite picks up another man. They gain a little bit of advantage, and wow, he survives. And that's going to be his teammates coming in to support him. And Zite finally has to force up, but actually down to 40 HP. It's still okay. 2 rifles picked up by Piper. There's one of them. It's all finding a headshot or not. Finally focusing to put down Zite. As I said, he has to go down at some point, but Ludi returns. That's going to be only focusing on 1v3, and there's little chance for him to win this. And going to be 15-8 to Pipoo, still alive indeed. go. Little. Pulling the trigger around the middle. He's going to get a headshot on Peke. That's just a P250 in his hands. Just as for Arrow and just as Falcon and Phils are playing with Deagles. Oh, Falcon with a great one tap. The Ludi is already spotted out in the middle window. Might be quite dangerous for him. But he pulls out the CZ and will also be going for the pistols fight against the enemies. Arrow there. And he's going to get the hit shot on Ludi, bringing the one-man advantage in favour of his team. Fails, gets spotted out in the palace out there. Experience with a double kill, and we'll finish it all off. At the end of the day, it works out quite fine. That's 15-9. 6 rounds difference between the teams, and Pipoo looking for the double digits. Probably the first objective. Next up is going to be making the comeback complete and getting the equalizer, getting the overtime, then trying to win the map. But it's not going to be easy at all. Enso still picking up the lead. Arrow with a headshot on experience, but there's one more man around the corner, and Ziti will return. But there's no equalizer for Pipoo. There's another kill for Foking, and that's going to be Enso still in the lead. By one person, but the bomb was dropped right in front of the apartments, so they cannot go in anywhere just yet. It looked like they had a bomb site A push prepared. They didn't have the bomb, now they have to rotate over towards B. You know that Zite is there, but I don't know exactly where he would be. Now they're taking a peek, and he'll find one frag on Films. We've got Art with a headshot on Zite to return, and it's an equalizer back to 2-1-2. Art knows where he will now be. That's only all remaining on the battlefield, and he's usually the guy deepest into bomb site A, so it took him a little bit of time to rotate in, and it's not going to be anything positive for the Swedish side. So that's 16-9 in favour of Enso, and we'll be seeing our second map with a little bit of an advantage for the Russian team. Dust 2 will start in about 5 minutes, I think. And in the meantime, make sure to take part in our giveaway, where you can win Razor Goliath's Speed Edition.